What up? This your boy, Nick Incredible Man, and I know I'm super, super late, man, but this is Fire Force Episode 4 discussion slash review. And I'm gonna be real. It was a good episode. It wasn't great like how like everything else was just like super fantastic on the other three episodes where it's like super action packed and we got all this and everything else. But this episode was very good. It was very informative and knowledgeable in certain aspects because we also found out that the Infernal in this episode can talk, which is something that we haven't seen as anime. I'm an anime only watcher, but as an anime only watcher, we haven't gotten this. This is the first time we've gotten anything remotely like this, and it was very entertaining. But let's talk about the episode, man. It starts off. We get introduced to the captain of the fifth company, which is this chick that's a little sadistic because she's like using her underlings as a chair. Like she had them like she sat on one and the others were used as armrests, and she had one using he was the back of the chair, and then she had the others lined up where she could just walk on them. So I don't know if I would be in Company 5. Might want to be a Fire Force character, but I wouldn't want to be in Company 5 because Company 5, no, ain't nobody walking on me. I'm just being real. But it was nice. She was very pretty. But we got introduced to her on her way to deal with this Inferno because she wanted to capture him because this is the first Inferno that anyone's encountered that can talk and still has a sense of self, which is very entertaining. It's very nice. I want to know how that happened. But let's talk about the episode. We jump right into the captain of the eighth and what's his name? Oh, Obi. I forget his name. Obi and Shinra talking with the lieutenant as where Obi and Shinra was talking that like nobody has any information on Joker. But then the lieutenant comes in and tells us, as I said, this episode was very informative, and tells us that the ashes that was used in episode 3 to cause the explosions and everything were the remains of infernals, which kind of makes sense. I mean, because it was black and it looked like like the stuff that happens when an infernal turns like off of their like it just pops out of their skin. That's what it looked like. But I mean, I didn't know that, but it was a nice thing for them to tell us that's exactly what that was. And then we see this episode was really slowed down until like right in like maybe like halfway through it kind of picked up with the action and the little more subtle stuff that was going on. Then we get Shinra and Arthur doing office work, which is, this is another job as well. So you have to do office and paperwork. And then we have they get a phone call, and Arthur gets the phone call, and he talks, and he's like, "Hello, I'm Arthur the Knight. What do you need?" And Maki just splits his head and answers the phone, and they get summoned on a call to go get a dog out of a tree. And Arthur had made a good question that I was wondering watching the episode. Like, you guys are the special Fire Force firefighters. You deal with the Infernals. Why are you getting regular dogs? And Maki told them, which was telling us, that sometimes the calls get mixed up and sometimes we get like average firefighter calls. So we just have to go deal with it. And then they get there and it's the Fire Force uniform man-faced dog person trapped in a tree, which was hilarious. I mean, it was funny, but then Shinra rescues them and it tells us that he got hoorayed and lifted up to a tree, and it was a nice little small segment that they showed. But this has been happening recently because a firefighter that was saving people also went on a killing spree and started killing people. And it was plumb ridiculous, man. Then they show this dude's trial, and like for some reason, like they didn't even say insanity or anything when he got off. It was like, well, you're free to go. It was like, what? He killed 4 people and he's free to go? And all the people that was in the background, probably family members and stuff, was like furious, man. It was like, no. And the next thing you know, dude just bust into human combustion. You can see the little black smoke cinder stuff coming off of him, and he just bust into human combustion, and he becomes an infernal. but while he was transitioning, people was in the thing was like, that's good for you. Turn to burn, burn, burn. And then he turned into an inferno. Then everybody wanted to get out of the courtroom. But then he started to proceed to hurt people or like, beat people up that saved him and set him free. Why are you attacking these people? He was like, I don't know. I don't care. I'm just doing it. So then we get another, we pan and we see the fifth company and the eighth company on their way to deal with the Infernal. And this is so messed up. The lieutenant was wondering where Shinra and Arthur were, and Maki just threw them under the bus. Like, they just left. I don't know what they did. They just left. They went on a call that you sent them out on, and they're going to be in trouble because of you. And then she's inside their ride. It was like, oh, guys, please forgive me. I'll give you ramen anytime you want. Just don't tell them. I was like, that's so messed up, man. But the funniest moment in this episode to me was when Shinra said, Arthur, stay here. I'm going to go ahead and go. And next thing you know, man, you see Arthur jump and he holds on to Shinra. And the next thing you know, he kind of like jumps up and like starts to ride Shinra. He was like, hi ho, Silver. He starts to ride Shinra like he's a horse, man. That scene was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. That was one of the best scenes in this episode. Then they're on their way and they stop by and talk to the lieutenant. He was like, you guys go on ahead and stop him from like committing more damage and killing someone and stuff. And then they get there, and it was very nice when they got there. Shinra and Arthur both put the moves to do. Shinra kicked him and Arthur rolled up right beside him and then like just back fisted him dead in the face. And that was a nice miniature fight scene. And then the captain and everybody comes, and then we get to another fight scene where it's just Shinra and the Inferno themselves. But before that, what I wanted to touch on was this moment right here, because it seems now like it's going to be, before it was like there was a conflict for Shinra himself, because it was like even for the captain, because like they want to save people, but this dude is an Infernal and he's killed people prior to him turning into an Infernal, and now he wants to continue to kill people, but he has his sense of self and he knows what he's doing. So us killing him isn't right. And in that moment, man, the lieutenant steps up, stops the captain from having to say what he would had to say, like, well, go kill him anyway. And the lieutenant says it, and Shinra kind of like, oh, okay, I'll do it. But it was so nice to see the lieutenant step up and tell Shinra, go do it anyway, man. And then Shinra's fighting dude, and it was a nice fight. It was a good fight. It wasn't too much going on, but it was a nice fight, and we got to see Shinra try to give him a little peace, and was like, well, I'll wait till the sister comes to give you, and dude just didn't want to just let up. But then that's when the fifth company interjects and comes in like just horrific, man. I knew that they were pretty much was going to be bad, because Captain Obi said that, like, the other companies, they don't care. They're only in this for information and money and stuff. So when it came and they done the stuff and tried to kidnap him, and the captain of the fifth squad attacked Shinra, and there was a whole bunch of other stuff like where they knocked kids over trying to get to the fight. It was just, dude, you guys are firefighters. You're supposed to be saving the people, man. And then we get to some flunky from the fifth company saying, well, your captain is a normal person. He's nothing. He can't do anything. He doesn't do anything. And Arthur and I love this scene as well. Arthur and Shinra both jumped in dude's face, was like, what did you say? But the most beautiful moment in that whole section right there was when Maki came in and was like, you guys break it up. And then she took her fist and punched dude in the gut. He just bit, and he's like it was absolutely fantastic. And the lieutenant was like, good job. And she was like, it was nice. And I love to see them taking up for Captain Obi, because he is a normal person. He doesn't have any pyrokinetic going on. But dude, tell me dude isn't beast though, man. Like when he was in the house, I think like episode 2, and he saved the girl's picture when the building fell on him, and even the first episode when we saw him going ham at the train station, it was nice. Dude is a beast. You can tell he's a beast, even though he doesn't have any pyrokinetic powers. But they end up giving it to the fifth. They end up letting the fifth company take the Infernal, and Captain Obi only agreed to it is that if they share information that they get from him with their company and every other company. But what I really wanted to touch on, and I don't know if it felt like this to anybody else, but to me, it felt like the sister and the princess captain of the 5th squad kind of knew each other. It looked like they kind of knew each other a little bit. It looked like they kind of had some history that I would love for them to go into, and I need more info on that, because she looked at her and she looked at her. Well, the sister looked at the captain and the captain looked at the sister, and they both kind of had these dead set looks in their eyes, and they was like, and then the captain of the 5th company was like, let's go. So it was very nice. It was very nice. I want to know what's going on with that, and who are these 3 flunky chicks from her company that were just all over the place in this episode. And I was like, no, I did not need them, man. But that's all that happened in this episode, and I know this video is like 10 minutes, but I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't like super action packed, but it was very intellectually, and you learned some stuff, and very knowledgeable as well. But this is your boy Nick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash that like button till you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.